Then would you say that we have to give up our perceptions of how it's supposed to show up?
Exactly. That's one of the main things is people have a preconceived idea and they have a lot of demands and they usually have to lose that before anything can happen.
Hypnotic Gnostics, researching the records of Cossack. In the temple, I'ma lay prostrate like the mystics is and the prophets. Christian mysticism, practice biblical cryptic wisdom, cosmic universalism, trance to elevate past your schism. Ecstatic intoxication, receiving the affirmation, offering prayers and supplication. The spirit is guiding my sanctification. Hebrews 6, I'm leaving the basics. Staring at clouds and countless spaceships. Body goes numb as a great sensation. I wrap shit up to heaven and places. The energy, it enters me. I vibrate at a high rate of frequency. Eliminate all doubt and unbelief. From within, I'ma transform mentally. Palms on the ground, fall to my knees. I begin to sweat, I feel the heat increase. Life in the tongue proper when I speak. I feel it move from my head down to my feet. I'm ascending the ladder. The weight of your glory, I never did that. And when we're alone in the zone, I feel like I'm surrounded by light and there's nothing that matters. Interdimensional beings, rebuking the demons that fleeing. Shamans and prophets believing around that are so far beyond that of which we are seeing. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind.
Close your eyes and meditate, and let the forces of the universe take you to that sacred place. My soul navigates through the etheric planes. I was conceived through non-ether, way before the Big Bang. Extra-dimensional beings traveled here in cylinder-shaped spacecrafts, landed upon the landmass, created mankind, traveled through the mind and redefined the mind. The time traveler, the wormhole, it grabs ya. I've been space and time and matter. My soul folds and forms the Merkaba. I become the master of heaven and earth. For what it's worth, I search the cosmos for my spiritual worth. And there was the first stage of primary creation. We existed in gas pockets and mysteries of the universe. I unlock it.
Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind.
One short story I want to talk about was we had a bunch of people there and we're all sitting around the campfire and they're going, where's the ships, where's the ship? And the people are going, well, I'm here, you know, where are you? And they just weren't really doing their focus work or focusing on, you know, intention and creating that event. And this one little kid picks up a marshmallow, you know, that he was cooking, and he cooked it and picked it up. He started walking out in the field and he goes, here, Mr. Spaceman. He goes, I have a marshmallow for you like this. 2 ships just went, and they were there the whole time. They just weren't making it. They just powered up and then took off together and went off. It took this innocence of this kid, you know, to initiate that, to make it happen.
Eye of illumination, receive insight during meditation. See my spirit take flight to rejuvenation. When I look up to the heights and I'm praying, they come, they come, they come. Yeah, and I'm praying, they come, they come, they come. Yeah, so here they come. When the stargate closes, better believe that another one opens. Releasing a fear, I'm golden, holding on to the hope and holding the light of my ascended master. UFOs up top my shaft, the chariots of fire travel down and save us from disaster. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind. Another dimension, ascending the planes, Esoteric Ascension. Another decision, the things I've seen if I should mention. You radiate and shine bright, light up the night sky. I'm raptured up to a sacred place, illuminate my mind.
There's an old saying, you know, you have to become like a child before you enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, this is heaven. Heaven is coming to earth, and it includes all these ultra-dimensional beings and masters and angelic beings and everything else. But we have to let go of our impatience and our demands and our arrogance and all of this stuff, and again become more innocent in awe and allow this to happen.
Fate awaits. Elevate your mind until you're taken to another place. If you see you'll find, and then levitate to a higher state. Move past the negativity and let's erase the hate. Embracing whatever will come along.
Hello and welcome to the Gnostic Warrior radio show and podcast, broadcasting from GnosticWarrior.com in San Diego, California, to around the world. I'm your host, Mo, and today on the show we have Derek TruthSeekah Grosskirth, who is a hip-hop artist whose knowledge about the esoteric and spiritual subjects are infused throughout the medium of music and lyricism. In his music, TruthSeekah pioneers a new sound with rhythmic, mystic hip-hop beats while staying true to the southern flows that he's been known to produce. TruthSeekah has been influenced by the work of Manly P. Hall and has been inspired by the greats like Jordan Maxwell, Santos Bonacci, and Michael Tsarion, who have also endorsed his music. The influence he has experienced from these spiritual and esoteric authorities and many others is apparent through the lyrics as well as the meanings of the signs and the symbols. TruthSeekah's message is of light, love, and understanding, and it's really great to have him on the show. Thanks for being with us today, Derek. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Derek. You know, last time we had spoke, you had interviewed me, and since then, I've become a big fan of your music. Really cool stuff that you're putting out there and a lot of truth. So I really appreciate you coming on the show and, you know, spending your time with us today.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, before we get into, you know, what you're doing now, I know there's a lot of people that have seen you and listened to you and have seen the cool videos that you put out. Can you tell us a little bit about your background before you got into the music industry?
Before I started doing music, basically around 2004, I started doing, you know, gospel music, and been doing that since about 3 years ago. So I started out, you know, doing Christian music and stuff like that. And from just having, you know, my own personal awakening and my own studies and things like that, just really transitioning to, you know, some of the more esoteric and deeper things, just asking bigger questions. And, you know, every time I ask questions, I get the answers. So, you know, so I think it was like 2004 I started doing gospels. You know, I guess to go a little bit further back, I, you know, lived a pretty crazy, you know, teenage life or whatever. You know, was into a lot of, you know, drug activity and gang involvement and robbing people and breaking in houses, and I got involved in some witchcraft, and I got into some Satanism and things like that. And it was some pretty evil stuff that kind of fit my evil lifestyle. And I basically got to a place that I didn't want to be, you know, communicating with spirits and things like that. But a lot of times I would hear voices and stuff, and they would come through, and I couldn't make out what they were saying after doing different ceremonies and stuff. And I mean, I was like, you know, 13, 14 when this stuff was happening, and I got to a place that really freaked me out, and I needed to call out for help. So I basically prayed and asked God to help me, because I was seeing spirits in my house. I was seeing, you know, hearing voices and seeing shadows and all this crazy stuff going on as a teenager, losing my mind. And I cried out to God for help one night, and you know, I had you know, remembered, you know, the teachings of Christ, and I knew some Christians and stuff. So you know, I tried that out, and God, man, I think He delivered me, you know, from that moment. You know, the next morning I woke up, and those voices I was hearing, like, everything quit. I was, you know, I was at peace with myself. I was at peace with God, and kind of felt like I was, you know, washed clean of everything that I did. And that was actually back in 1990. It was back in 1999, and like I said, you know, studying the Bible and going to churches and things like that. 2004, started doing gospel music to, you know, kind of catch up to speed to now, probably about 3 years ago, get into some of the more deeper questions in the Bible, in the other holy books, and having my own experiences and encounters kind of led me, you know, to the path where I am now. So, and it's still a journey, you know what I'm saying? It's still a journey that I'm on. I haven't arrived anywhere yet, you know?
Definitely. It's kind of like you've done a full circle, it seems like, where you were kind of in the evil and the darkness,
yeah,
and you came to the light,
mm-hmm,
and you want to study this whole world, whether it be dark or truth or light, from this aspect where you're at now, and you don't have any fear of it.
Yeah.
But I also know that you've been persecuted also by some of maybe your fellow Christians out there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, like you said, I do approach everything with caution. I personally experienced God through the person of Jesus Christ and through the Bible. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's my story. And so, you know, with my past, and as crazy as my past was, and how I wouldn't give anything to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad that I am where I am now. But so when I start to get into some of the occult topics or whatever, or something that's, just sounds occult to some, most of the stuff, like I personally have a green light because it's written up in the scriptures. Like I'm just asking questions through my study of the Holy Bible, and there's so much in there that people don't even understand. So I start asking questions, but I do approach it with a sense of caution because people say, okay, he's getting back into witchcraft. He's getting back into Satanism. He's getting back, because I tell my story. I tell my testimony. I've told it in churches for years. And now here I am getting into some things that may seem foreign. Here people see me burning sage or, chanting Om or whatever the case is, some things like that. They say, oh, he's back into witchcraft. But it's totally different. It's not the same as, it's not the same intention. It's not the same spirit. And I'm just after truth. I'm asking questions, and I'm catching a lot of flack. And I've just recently, had to come to terms with that I'm not, the same evangelist that I once was, even though a part of me would like to hold on to that, out of fear. It's like moving on and saying goodbye to a lot of people. Like I'm trying to hold on to people that's already let me go and who's already pronounced final judgment on me as far as, because it's not been something that's been graceful either. Like I've caught a lot of flack. And so that's what kind of makes me look at the religion that I was perpetuating, pushing Christianity. Now that I'm kind of on the other side just a little bit, I'm receiving all the negative attention. I'm receiving the cold shoulder. And I'm like, man, is this really what I was perpetuating? Was I helping feed this, to treat people like this and to alienate people that were different whenever I got into it? So, it's a deep revelation, and it's, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I knew how, cold and ugly the church could be and how it was, founded on, the Roman system and all the, the different, pagan entities that were being cloaked in it. And I thought it was, all, crazy from that aspect. And I thought I had it figured out. But then here recently, man, it's just a whole nother light how I can see the, the mind control and the mob mentality when one person, can spread a rumor or tell a lie. It can spread throughout the whole, congregation or body of people. And I think the reason it's been so hard is because, for years I've had people speak very highly of me. I made a change. I'm a good guy. I'm not a bad guy anymore. I tell people about God, tell people about Christ and things like that, do good in my community and doing all these things. And then now those same people are calling me a Satanist. Those same people are calling me a witch and saying that I'm a false prophet and leading people astray. So just trying to wrap my mind around that still to this day just kind of blows me or whatever. So having to get past that, man, has been a hurdle, and I can't say I'm totally past it because I really put my heart out there for people, and really cared about people who, on the other hand, seem to not really put forth the same effort into a friendship and relationship that I did. So it's been a lot of people like that.
Yeah, what I think you come to find out, this is anywhere in life, whether it be Christianity or any religion or any group, that people are people, and it doesn't matter if they're a Christian, because what I found also is that, they don't follow the teachings of the Bible or Christ, because they're doing the exact opposite when they judge you and they persecute you, and it's no different. The only thing is different that they have laws now, the rule of law instead of the rule of the jungle, because a lot of these same people that you called friends that now persecute you and talk behind your back would possibly string you up on a cross or whatever in the old days. So it's kind of scary that we haven't evolved that much spiritually and mentally, with all these teaching. It's almost like it devolved a little bit. And, it is hard because when you put yourself out there and you want to speak truth, you start to get enemies, and people that you thought you loved and that were your brothers turn out to be your enemies, So you just got to keep going on, and I commend you for doing that, and just living your path and getting into music. And you definitely have a talent. When did you start getting into music? Was it just the past few years, or have you always been into it?
Well, I've always been into music, ever since a child or whatever. Started playing instruments probably about 2004, probably the same time I started rapping. So I started doing, gospel rap music with the group in the area. And they kind of put me on, and I learned from them, and learned stage presence and things. And So 2004 is when I kind of started taking it, serious to start writing and, trying to, take my craft to the next level. So did that and did a lot of shows in the span of about 10 years or so, since 2004. So, and let me see. I've done a lot of shows, a lot of stuff in the South, a lot of interviews, radio, things like that. I was getting kind of big in, in the scene or whatever. So kind of became.
That was more the Christian rap scene?
Yeah, and kind of,
okay.
Made a name for myself locally and was, like I said, on a lot of radio stations, doing a lot of youth revivals and stuff. And, so that's where I started. And just incorporating some of the stuff. Like, I think I need to be true to myself as an artist, just to write what I'm experiencing and what I go through. Just be true to myself about what inspires me. And at the time, it was religion, you know what I'm saying? And then I went even further. I kind of see my music almost like the outer court sense. When I first started doing music was about religion and about me coming out of the darkness that I came from. And I did a whole album on that. And then I went a little bit deeper within the next album, and it was talking about a lot of the doctrine and debunking a lot of the, the money changers in the church and the false prophets and stuff, and I really focused on that. And then I got into some more of the political stuff after that, with Alex Jones and seeing that kind of stuff, and then studying the Illuminati and trying to expose all this wickedness and everything was evil. And then the more study I did, and when I trying to expose Masons and stuff, and then I finally got to know Masons and started studying some of the literature. I had some friends who actually broke into a Masonic temple and took all their books and brought it back to my house, and we read them and went through them. I'm like, man, this stuff that I'm looking at videos on YouTube about exposing these type of people who are carriers of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to expose them as being wicked and evil. But the stuff I'm reading, like, if I look at it with, just being unbiased, it's not. Just like like you said, like the term occultist, it's just studying of the unknown. And people need to understand that what is hidden from some is openly shown to others. And I think that's a big deal, man, for people to understand and wrap their mind around.
Yeah, it is. And as Plato said, all learning is remembering, and I think that the Masons would be almost like the people in the old days that would be us today, hiding that knowledge, where they had to hide it in the lodge and they had to have secret hand grips and, hide themselves from the Christians and other people that might kill them for this knowledge. So it's interesting. I've studied a lot of Freemasonry myself, and I know they are definitely a secret society that play into the powers that be in the world, but you can't pin them to all the bad that happens in the world, because people are inherently bad, so it's an interesting world that we live in. Which artists inspire you the most now?
Now, it's crazy because, like I said, about 3-4 years ago, I started looking into some of the deeper questions and heard about the third eye and things like that. Started looking into that, and I was led to a documentary, which was 2012 Enigma by David Wilcock. And I think that documentary really opened up my mind and opened up my life to a lot of synchronicities and seeing a lot more, truths into the spiritual reality that we're in. And through that, just looking up those terms, third eye, consciousness, astral travel, things like that, I ran into the group, The Lost Children of Babylon, LCOB, and started listening to them. And whenever I heard their music, man, I totally fell in love with it. Several reasons was because, their beats were beats that you can put on and just close your eyes and be taken to another place just by listening to the instrumental. Real etheric, synth carrying throughout the whole thing, and really can take you to another place. And then the lyrics on top of it, the different rhyming schemes that they had were totally different. It wasn't like something you can listen to on the radio and hear the song 3 times and know every word. This is stuff, and I can admit I've been listening to these guys 3-4 years, and I still can't recite a song all the way through. And that, with their rhyming schemes, and plus the stuff they're talking about, using big words that I've never heard of, using stuff that words and phrases that you have to do a lot of studying or use Google or Wikipedia to understand what these guys were talking about. That right there, once I guess the stuff I was into was getting kind of stagnant, this opened me up to a whole new realm of hip hop and music. So, The Lost Children of Babylon, and for me to be working with them now At the time when I thought about it, it didn't seem, like it was a possibility because, the type of stuff I was on, kind of like an ABC type rapping and, kind of looked up to these guys a lot. And, now that I'm working with them, like I said, it's just, it's just amazing. It's a big accomplishment for me personally that I'm actually, can see myself on the same level as those guys,
Who did the videos that you have now for your new album?
I do everything, man. Everything. I do everything but make the beats. I have several different producers that I usually get beats from. Amos the Ancient Prophet, Life and Death Productions, Damon Beats. Some of those guys actually make the beats. But as far as writing the lyrics and recording and mastering and mixing everything, I do that. Then when it comes to the videos, I do the same thing as well. Whether I get an inspiration from the videos and the music, by watching movies and stuff like that, and knowing that there's a lot of synchronicities and a lot of hidden truths that are released, inside the movies and stuff. So I'll be watching a movie and something will stick out to me, and I'll I'll try to sample it, whether it's the audio or the video, and put it all together. So sampling a lot of stuff, man, a lot of different movies, tying things together, whether it's speaking about, angels or UFOs or something like that, putting them all together. So I do all that as well.
Awesome. I love your videos, and the music's great, the lyrics, a lot of truth in them, and you're talking, your latest album, Spiritual Alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you come up with that name, and what's it mean to you?
Spiritual Alchemy, I think I just came up with it, out the blue. Not saying that I, coined that phrase or anything, because, after coming up with the name or hearing the name, in my mind, I looked it up, and I think there's some stuff, online by, I think Bill Cooper had something called Spiritual Alchemy or whatever. But, the term in itself to me is, alchemy is, changing, metals, base metals from one state to another, transforming lead and copper into gold, and so it's kind of like the same thing, just us, spiritually, we start out at, a certain level like I did, and then through time and through wear and tear and through, spending time with the divine and all these things combined together, man, we transcend and we, we move to another level mentally and spiritually. So just kind of like taking that next step of spiritual evolution in your personal journey, which is written of in all the holy books, and, growing spiritually. So that's what it's about,
I love the positive vibe in your music and the truths. It's definitely something that I feel that people should hear, and why I wanted you on the show. And people need to understand that we're made of these spiritual energies and chemical energies and metals and so forth, and that alchemy actually happens with us, and we can transform ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And music actually plays a large part in that. The music that we listen to and everything that we put into our bodies, whether what we listen to, what we see,
yeah,
or what we eat. So, it's definitely something cool. What is this, your second album that you've done?
This is the second album that's on, more the esoteric themes. The album before that, at the very end of that album, was when I was getting into it. So I did like one or two songs speaking about the age of Aquarius and things like that. So yeah, I did the album before this one was entitled Awaken the Fire, and that's when I started working with the Lost Children of Babylon and some of the other artists who are affiliated with them. So Awaken the Fire and Spiritual Alchemy are the two albums. Spiritual Alchemy is like a continuation of Awaken the Fire. So, after I did something, I raised the bar with myself with that album. So with Spiritual Alchemy, like I had to try to overdo that one, and I was kind of nervous because I set the bar so high, and taking my time and redoing stuff, and not just writing something and throwing it down and say, okay, I got a song, to record a song 6 or 7 times until I was happy with it. So I know that, okay, these guys I'm working with, Lost Children of Babylon, or some of these other people who have a big following, and who are actually, skilled MCs. So I'm going to be this guy from the South, I can't just be this whack rapper. I have to step my game up so much. And I think I did that on these 2 albums. So I've been getting a lot of love from, that community.
Where do they hail from? What state, the Lost Children of Babylon?
They're actually, spread out across the U.S., man. So some of them are in Cali, some of them are in Delaware, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New Jersey. So they're actually spread out, and they're all working on their solo projects and come together, to release the albums together. But I think they were actually based out of Philly when they started. But right now they're all spread out. So
that's awesome. Did you record this for your album as well, all spread out just over the internet?
I mean,
collaborating?
A couple of them was recorded in my home studio. As far as some of the collabs, I have some guys locally that I worked with. Stephen the Voice Cook, we're actually working on his album right now. He was featured on my project, SA-115. These are some of the guys I've been working with for a while, who some of these guys actually do gospel rap. And then, for them to be on a track with me was actually taking a step for them, because I really don't consider myself a gospel artist or a Christian artist anymore. So I still have some good ties with some of the close friends I had. So they was able to support and, put in some stuff on this, these last two projects as well. So
cool. And you're still cool with them?
Yeah, there's a couple people I'm cool with. I mean, it's
good.
It's all about friendships and stuff like that. But some of these people, I would just, like I said, just building their egos and helping them out, because I put in a lot of time, like, developing a lot of artists. And so for those who, who stick around and actually,
don't judge you.
Yeah, man, and just, they're just friends. I mean, that's all we need, just friends.
Well, they're looking at you for your heart and who you are truly as a person, rather than what you study or what you might write about, So that's cool. And I know that wasn't a blanket statement, Derek, as far as, all the Christian friends that you used to have, but I know it's some of them were, and maybe the majority, and some, very few are your friends. But, that's cool that you're still a Christian, you still study Gnosticism and the occult, and then you're not really considered a Christian artist anymore, because you're not really want to be labeled as that. But if someone that's Christian wants to listen to you, cool. If someone that's not, cool. It's all about the music and the truth that you put out.
Yeah.
What's your favorite track on this album?
Wingardium Leviosa. That's gonna be my favorite. I did that one with Aslan, who's an awesome MC out of the UK. So he's actually featured on that one. So the song Wingardium Leviosa is probably my favorite.
And what label are you on?
I'm actually affiliated with LCOB, the Lost Children of Babylon, but I have my own, which is Gnostic Entertainment.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's the Nostik.
Yes.
Yeah, cool names. Cool names. Seems like you come up with a lot of lyrics, a lot of lines, and a lot of quotes, and daily you come up with them. And it seems like you have a gift for that. Where do you believe that this gift comes from?
I'm inspired by a lot of stuff. So, like I said, studying the Bible and studying, Christianity or whatever, there's a lot of things that are, they're saying the same thing. They're only just saying it differently. And we have to look past, whether it's the messenger, and just look at the message. So there's a lot of different sources that are saying the same thing, like people who attest to a universal law of love and of service to, mankind or whatever. So anything like that inspires me, it's everything, man. And it's so crazy, because just having to come to terms with myself. I'll quote anything from old saints and sages to quotes by Marilyn Manson, that just rings so true with me now, and to do that, for some is like a big leap. Like, how's he quoting, especially, the religious community. But, to quote something like that, it's just like, we just look at the messages or whatever in it. And so I'm inspired by everything just in life. And if I ever stop, being inspired, then I'll probably stop making music. So, it all comes from inspiration from the same source.
When do you come up with most of your ideas for your songs? Do you just sit down and, hey, I want to write? It just comes to you? It's
got to come to me. It's got to come to me. And right now, I don't have anything coming to me. I'm ready to write. Like, I'm ready to work on some stuff. I'm still promoting, but I'm ready to write, and I'm not having anything. A lot of times it'll be phrases that come to me or movies that inspire me and stuff. And a lot of my songs, man, they're not like, I don't sit down and write them. Like, I may come up with a bar here or a phrase here or a quote there and a quote there, and I'll sit down with all these little pieces of paper, and I'll try to put them together like a puzzle and see if they are talking about the same thing. And then I'll take those and I'll write and kind of piece them together like a song. So then I'll sit down and write with all these different phrases and topics, that'll actually start something. And that's when the best stuff comes. So I can sit down and write and add to it, but the majority of the stuff is coming to me when I'm driving, when I'm doing something else or whatever, when I'm inspired, when I'm jogging, when I'm meditating, different times.
Yeah, it's usually like a one-line kind of thing.
Yeah, man. It'll be like I wrote this one. It's like exoskeleton shell of an alien. On the mothership, I fellowship with E.T. and Elliot. I was like, I got to use that. I want to keep it. So at that time, like, I don't have more coming to me. Like, you know what I'm saying, where do I go with it? And then I'll just save it, and I'll sit down with it and say, I got these other things, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll write to it, and I'll have just, all these phrases, man, coming to me, from different things, because I'm inspired by so much. And if it comes to me artistically, then I can use it, So that's how, most of my songs are started. They're started with some type of phrase or some type of line, and then I'll take it and I'll build a whole song around it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've, only been in music such a short time, but you're able to have that gift, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have that gift. Do you feel that this is a gift that you might have carried possibly from another life? That do you believe in reincarnation and anything like that?
I'm not against it. The last time we spoke, I gave the examples of in the scriptures where Jesus had come and, John the Baptist has come, and everyone thought that it was Moses or Elijah reincarnated. Everybody said, is this Moses or Elijah come again? So I think everybody was kind of, familiar with those terms of reincarnation and different saints coming back or different spirits coming back, in bodily form through another person. So, I'm not necessarily against it. I do have questions, and I do have a question like, why do most people who talk about past lives and reincarnation, why are they always these awesome people? Why are they always something that they want to be in this life? Like, why is everybody always a king or a ruler or a mystic or a sage or a seer or something that relates to their profession? Like, I don't never hear nobody coming out saying, well, I was a beggar, I was a carpenter, I was just a regular person or whatever. Like, when people talk about it, like, to me, they always have these big, awesome roles that they want to fulfill in this life. So they say that they were that in their back life, past life. That's one question I have about it.
The reincarnation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've done some study into it myself, and there's more stories out there that are less grandiose. Yeah. If you study the doctors and scientists that have actually studied it. So, but I definitely agree with you, because most of the stories are of the grandiose people. Yeah. So I actually know a few people that have grandiose jobs right now, and they claim to have quite grand titles in previous lives, and I actually believe it because of who they are in this life. So
like I said, I'm not against it. I do have questions. I'm not an expert on it by any means.
Yeah, and that's I think what you're saying, Derek, is you haven't went into that knowledge and studied it long enough to really have a complete view on it that you could talk about for 15 minutes. It's just something that you've thought about briefly, and you haven't really and when you have thought about it, the people that you do run across are these people that have been Jesus, in their past life or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, there was there's a group that I was affiliated with years ago, studying under, called the Hebrew Israelites. And they have a lot of videos on YouTube. They do a lot of preaching out in the streets and stuff like that, wearing all white garments. I've seen them, yeah. Some of them, they curse people out. There's a different group. I wasn't affiliated with them, but they actually all claim to be, like you said, Jesus and John the Baptist and the prophet, Isaiah and Elijah. They're all these grand people, you know what I'm saying? They claim that they are, them, reincarnated. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's funny, as I know some of them could be intelligent and so forth, and they just... So yeah, I don't.
Who knows?
I don't.
But who knows? Maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
I don't know.
Exactly. Your family, are they also? You live in Alabama, correct?
Yeah. I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, around New Orleans, and actually in Houma, right on the outskirts. And so I've been in Alabama for good since 2000. So yeah, I'm in Alabama.
What's your family think about your work? Are you close with them at all?
Not really, as far as like my immediate family. Like I said, they all know me as being a minister, a Christian minister. But I am more open-minded. Like I still hold to the same values and stuff. So, I'm saying, I'm not that far removed, I don't think, from it. I still believe it. But when they want it in a certain type of box or whatever. But I mean, my mom's cool. I'm saying, my wife and our daughter supports me. I'm saying, my wife is more of the the grounding force that keeps me grounded to earth and I'm saying, this reality or whatever. And so that's good too, because I'd just be all over the place or whatever if I wasn't, So
yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not catching any flack from my family. I just kind of confide in them too, about the things I'm going through. So
cool. How long you been married?
I've been married now for going on 13 years, man.
Wow, that's a long time. And how old are you, Derek?
I am 29. I got married when I was 17 to my high school sweetheart.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
She's always supported your music career?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's always been there. Like I said, she's been my backbone and my grounding force and everything. She doesn't really contribute to the musical process or anything like that. That's kind of my cup of tea. But, she's my backbone and my support, so.
Yeah, and I mean, just having that contributes to it, because you got to have the partner support and love. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't, man. And I know them. I know young people who are married, and it's like a war or a struggle with their spouse or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not like that on my end. So. Yeah, there's more of a dissension between the two, and they're jealous of their careers or their friends or whatever, and you can't go and do music because there's going to be girls there or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's great because you're able to create. I know when there's dissension in the house, it's impossible to create. So, amen there, brother, definitely. Does anybody else in your family sing, or are they talented with words?
Not really. I mean, my daughter is starting to get into some singing. She's really shy, but she has an amazing voice. Every now and then I'll catch her singing, when she's, taking a bath or taking a shower, she'll start singing real loud, and I hear her, and I'll mute the TV or something like that, and, we'll be riding in a car, and I hear her singing. So she actually just told me she's about to do something in chorus in school. She's going to try to do some of the solo stuff. So that's a big step, but she's amazing. So hopefully, she has, a future in singing, because she has an amazing voice. She is
cool. How old is she?
She is about to be 9. She's about to be 9. Yeah, so she's young.
Yeah, precious sage. I have 4 boys, and actually my first girl, she's 4 years old. So it's definitely great. You have 2 kids?
No, I just have one. Her name's Nevaeh. Yeah.
You planning on having any more?
You got to talk to the missus about that. I would love more, but I don't think she's ready.
Yeah, and I know it could get expensive as well.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Are you pretty much managing everything as well, as far as the music career and paying for everything, funding it yourself, or are you getting some help with that at all?
I do everything myself. So on the side, I do a lot of graphic arts for people and doing websites and stuff. So I try to pay for it through that, and then it's gotten to a place now where, for the most part, the music pays for itself, and I don't have to go into my family's bill money to fund something that I want to do with my music. Whether it's pay for somebody's studio time to do a collab or something like that. I'm able to actually pay for it through my own budget, and I'm actually bringing in money now. It's not a lot of money, but like I said, it just actually pays for itself, and it pays off a little bit to actually have something to show for it. There's a lot of people, they're taking bill money and forfeiting things with their family so that they can do what they want to do with their music and stuff, and I don't believe in that. Maybe when you first get started, you might have to sacrifice some stuff, but you definitely need to get to a spot where your music pays for itself.
What are some tips you have for people out there to promote their music? What's been some of the best things that you've done personally to, get TruthSeekah out there to the people? It's TruthSeekah, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
TruthSeekah. Now, obviously, YouTube. Sign up with YouTube, monetize your page, promote through YouTube. Actually, before you do that, once you finish an album or an EP, upload it. I use CD Baby. CD Baby is an awesome service. They put your music on iTunes, and they register your music, and they actually have a royalty company now. So for independent artists, they're actually collecting royalties. So whether you're getting paid through YouTube for page clicks and people viewing your videos, that on top of that, this royalty company collects royalties for you anytime your music is played online or on the radio. And for independent artists, when I first signed up for it, I didn't think anything would come from it, and then I would have, checks just show up or whatever saying, okay, here's your royalty check. And I was like, wow, just out the blue, these checks show up. So for independent artists, man, put your music on CD Baby and promote like heavy through, YouTube, because you're getting paid, through that. And it's not all about the money. It was like, oh, he's just worried about the money and making money off of it. That's not the case. The case is that not many people buy CDs anymore. And the state I'm at now, the place I'm at now, to where it's kind of cool because once my album comes out, people either buy it or download it, and then they upload it for free on different servers. So it sucks because I'm losing money from that, but it's cool because I'm at a place now where it's kind of in demand that people are searching for it for free because they want it. So with that being said, you're going to make a little bit of money off of, album sales and things like that, iTunes and stuff. But even people just streaming your music or watching your videos, you're getting paid through that. So there is some type of income coming in where you're not just a starving artist or whatever, or you have to pay for, because, what I'm saying, you got to pay for studio time, you got to pay to get your CDs printed up and T-shirts and all this stuff. So, what I'm saying, that's what I've been telling everybody. So whether they, think I'm bragging on it or whatnot, I'm just trying to give them the same opportunities that I've found, as far as, trying to get your music out there and get it heard, beating up the search engines and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, Derek, you definitely don't. Personally, as a fan of your work and someone that, has got to know you over the past couple months via Facebook, you definitely don't put off like you're a ballin' hip-hop artist, from Alabama driving in. So, and you're humble, you said, hey, I'm just pretty much paying for my music where I don't got to take it from my family's, fund, which is cool. And I think everybody, that's in music or any type of artist should strive to do that because you have to make it somewhat of a business because people are going to steal your music or try to get it for free, and they're going to get it. You found that out, just like the big artists, right?
Exactly. Like when it first started happening, I was flattered that it's doing that because like my gospel albums in the past, even though I had some type of notoriety with that, nobody was doing that. Nobody was uploading it to free servers and downloading it and trading it and blogging about it and stuff. So when that started happening, it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm losing money. I'm losing revenue that I could be making. So I actually went on there and tried to delete them all, like report them all or whatever. And the more I did it, the more they would pop up. They would pop up on all these other sites. And so it finally got to a place that's like, and I talked with some people. They're like, hey, some people can't afford it. So, they're able to get it. So if they can, if they can buy it, they can purchase it or whatever. I hope that they do. But another thing on top of that, as far as marketing and as an artist, like you have to put out something to sell. Whether it's T-shirts or whatever, or we have necklaces and T-shirts and stickers and stuff. And the thing about it is, like, they can't download a T-shirt. They can't download, a necklace or a sticker or something like that. So, it's kind of like if you have a movement or whatever, and that stuff is movement. Moving. So just kind of take advantage of it, and just kind of hit it from all aspects. So I'm giving you the game now.
Yeah, definitely, and. Like I said, they're going to get it for free if they want to. Then people out there, like I never go to those services. I might have at one time in my life, but I don't do that anymore, and I don't want anything on my computer or anything like that. So you're going to have people that will definitely pay for your work. And like you said, you're putting out some great graphics. Are all these ideas yours, your logo and these shirts and everything?
Everything's for me, man. I mean, I don't have a lot of people locally that I can collab with. I mean, I'm in the South, man. This is the Bible Belt. So when I tell you I'm having a hard time putting this information out there, I'm having a hard time. I'm in the Bible Belt, so I don't have a lot of people we can sit down with and articulate with and brainstorm with. And I mean, I've had some people, but I mean, I watch the people that come around me and my family really close. So I'm pretty picky about who I work with and stuff. And some people want to start talking about some of the higher knowledge and stuff, but then at the same time promote like crazy drug use and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not about that, man. Like I still have values, I still have a family, and I still have a consciousness, and I still have an agenda. Like the agenda is to push peace, love, and understanding. And I'm not, I know people who are messed up off of drugs, so I'm not gonna, crazily promote, drug use and things like that in my music. So I just watch who I let around, myself and my family. So I do a lot of it by myself, man. So. Yep. That's
great. You're just basically doing graphic arts and websites on the side, or are you doing any other type of work?
Well, yeah, I do that on the side, but, I'm actually a truck driver, man. I drive a truck. I work a full-time job. So I'm
on top of all that, too.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, dude. I'm going 9 to nothing, and I just had a guy leave the studio, a friend of mine. I'm helping him with his album, so I do a lot. And, so, yeah.
No, you're working hard, too, so hopefully someday this work will pay off where not only, you could fund just your music, but you also could maybe have a little money to maybe not work at that truck job and dedicate your time 100% to this music. It looks like you got a lot of momentum going right now with your YouTube channel and Facebook. It seems like it's just exploding.
Yeah, I've been running into problems with the YouTube and stuff because a lot of the work I'm doing is I'm featuring, like in my music, I'll feature clips from movies as far as like in the videos and stuff. And it's part of it, man. It's just part of the art is to take that and connect it with a song or whatever. So I'm getting flagged a lot by, having, clips from Sony and Fox in it. So it's kind of messing with my YouTube status or whatever. And, they're trying to like threaten to actually, delete it and shut it down and stuff. So trying to use wisdom and learn as I go along on how to do that and what videos to feature on my channel and to have a spare channel with other videos. But if you go to my website, TruthSeekahMusic.com, you'll be able to see all the videos there, so you won't have to go to several different pages. So trying to maintain that, man, and keep it up and keep doing what I'm doing, with the creativity and stuff.
What's next as far as, do you have anything in the works? Are you working on the album? I know you said that nothing's coming to you as far as writing new songs, but
I'm not really writing right now. Like I said, I would like to work on some stuff, but nothing's coming. But so right now I'm actually working on a book. I started writing a book 8 years ago, really just wrote my life story. I started doing it and put it down for 8 years. I did it, in a month span and then put it down, didn't even think of it. So now that's coming back to the surface and I'm actually editing it and getting it done. My wife's helping me with it. And so this is telling my life story and, kind of going into detail of some of the stories I talk about, dealing with, some different, witchcraft and Satanism and the guy who led me, down the path to kind of teach me a lot of that stuff and kind of going in detail about that. So working on that, man. So hopefully that, get some momentum behind it too. So hopefully within the next few months, that'll be available. So that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, and that was actually going to lead into my next question, which you, of course, went over the book that you're writing. What's your favorite thing to do when you're not writing, producing, playing music?
Well, I think one of my favorite things to do, I've been playing a lot of video games, but that's kind of a downfall right now. That's probably why a lot of the inspiration isn't coming. I spend a lot of money and time playing video games and stuff like that. So that, that catches a lot of my downtime, and
would you say that's a bad habit or a good habit for Derek?
You can manage it, but it's like, it's an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like some people
sometimes it gets out of balance for you.
Yeah. I'll stay up late, playing games and stuff, playing online, and really whenever you could be doing, other things to do that. I try to spend a lot of time, relaxing, and I play a lot of games, do a lot of online gaming and stuff like that. So that can, if I don't balance it out, it can get out of hand. And that's just not with me. That's a lot of people. I'm just trying to admit it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, we're human. We're highly addictive.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anything that takes you to another place, you know what I'm saying, get you out of, where you are, your current situation or whatever. A lot of times with that stuff, people live like, another life through their video games because, whether it's the video games or Facebook or the internet, they can be whoever they want to be, on those platforms and stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is for you. It kind of lets you escape all that hard work you're doing. Check out and,
exactly. Yeah.
And then sometimes you don't realize time gets by, and before you know it, you're on there 5, 6, 8 hours, right?
Yeah, not that long. I can't be on it that long. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of hard when you only have so many hours a day, and I do so much in those days and put in so much work with my job, and then my job pulls a lot from me. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually have to get up at like 2 in the morning to go to work, and then so when I come home in the evenings, I'm pretty much whooped. So a lot of times, dude, like after that, like I don't feel like messing with music. If I come home off a long day at work, I don't sit down and start writing. I don't get in the booth. I try to spend some time with my family. So a lot of the you know what I'm saying, the music comes to me while I'm driving. I mean, I have a lot of time to think. And you know what I'm saying, listen to beats and stuff like that while I'm driving. So that's where most of my, lyrics come from.
It's interesting that you say that because I also have problems. I, consider myself somewhat creative in my writing, but when I'm tired and beat, I simply can't. I could study and do things that are really low mind activity kind of things, but as far as anything that requires a lot of inspiration or
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't happen. And I know that has to deal with, you know, our chemicals and so forth that people don't understand, but we won't get to that now. Would you want to talk anything about your past when, you know, the witchcraft, as far as briefly that experience you had with that witch and so forth that had trained you and did different things with you?
I mean, I was a negative person, and I was, like I said, I was into gangs and doing a lot of drugs and robbing people and stuff like that. And then you add witchcraft on top of that. I mean, that's and it wasn't a positive thing for me. Maybe for some people it's positive. Maybe for some people, you know, it's an escape. But it kind of amplified me. You know, what's
interesting to me, Derek, sorry to interrupt you, is usually, you know, gangs don't mix with witchcraft. You know, you don't usually see a witch on. So did this come from the street, or was it just a completely separate part of your life that kind of entered into it?
Always having a infatuation with it in movies. And there was a movie that I watched that really pushed me over the edge with it. Was a movie came out years ago called The Craft. I don't know if you ever seen that, but it basically took Wicca and put it in a really positive light or whatever. And that right there kind of pushed me over the edge. Cause okay, I want to do it. I got into some crazy stuff, man. We was into vampirism and stuff, all stuff as a teenager, man, doing this stuff. And, you know, that's where my identity was. And once you get into, you can say witchcraft, you can say spirit work, you can call it what you want. You know, when you're dealing with energies, you're dealing with entities and spirits, whatever you do, that's what you're going to get. If you are a negative person like I was, and you start meditating, you start trying to go in and communicate with the other side, you're going to see those spirits that you're influencing, or the spirits that are actually influencing you. You're going to see them. They're going to mess with you and stuff. But and that's what I did. I seen some stuff that scared the hell out of me, that you know, really messed with me, and you know, it was scary, man. You know, as a teenager. Knowing that I was losing my mind. Like, I know, like, people use the expression, you're going to make me lose my mind, or I'm losing my mind. I literally felt like entities were taking my mind from me. And it was scary. So, with that being said, man, I mean, I've seen a lot of things, and I've seen entities form out of, you know, shadows. I had an entity formed and, you know what I'm saying, knocked me to the ground and stuff. So when I seen that, it kind of intrigued me because I knew it was real. I knew the supernatural was real. So I started seeking it even more, and seeking it as a negative person, man, brought me negative results. And now, as I would say, I'm a pretty positive person, man. So now seeking, you know, the occult or whatever, just seeking the truth. You call it what you want, because it really doesn't matter what you call it. It's the same thing, just with different terms. You know, you're able to, you know, see the beauty in it, and see the beauty in energies, and in you know, spirit work, and then you understand that everything that you do in the physical realm has implications in the spirit realm, whether that's good or bad. So be careful. I definitely tell you to be careful. So,
in a sense, what you're saying is that when you study this world from a dark place and a dark heart, you get dark results and dark entities that could possibly take you over, and that might have been what had happened to you. And then when you had came to the light and didn't fear it anymore, and you studied it from a good heart and a truthful heart, you find different truths, and these bad entities don't affect you anymore.
Yeah. It's crazy, because I wouldn't attest that I hold to any doctrine or belief. Like I said, I mean, I believe the Bible. I believe a lot of stuff in the Bible. I don't believe all of it. I mean, all of it's not justified. All of it's not, you know, a lot of it is metaphors and signs and symbols or whatever. So I wouldn't say that I attest to any understanding. When people's like, hey, are you a Gnostic? What do you mean? Do I agree with all the Gnostic Gospels? Do I believe in all? Do I agree with all this? No, I don't. Do I agree with everything in Christianity? No. Buddhism, no. Islam, no. I don't agree with wholeheartedly with none of any of it, but I've been able to glean from all of it. You know, and there's a quote that says, if you can't see God in all, then you can't see God at all. And people, we talk about the Bible. The Bible to me is an amazing book. You know, God spoke to me through the Bible. He still speaks to me through the Bible. But at this point now, I'm like, well, if you didn't have the Bible, if you didn't have your religious text, if you didn't have what you believe in, and you knew God, and He wanted to reveal Himself to you, He would. If you were reading The Cat in the Hat, He'll actually reveal Himself to you through that, through everything. And once you reach that point where God speaks to you through everything, man, it opens up, you know what I'm saying, new worlds. And you don't have to be a part of a religion. You don't have to be a part of a system or a dogma or something like that. And then you reach the point where you have nothing to prove. Like, I have nothing to prove to you, but, love, man. And that I just, you know what I'm saying, I just try to treat you like I want to be treated. And you hope for that back. It's not always the case, but, it just opens up you know what I'm saying, like a whole new realm of understanding. I can't call myself anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a child of God. I believe in God. And, you
don't want to be labeled.
I don't want to be labeled as anything. So, and that's a problem because, labels make people feel good. They say, oh, well, he's a New Ager. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Most people don't even know what that means when they say that, or he's into the occult. Okay. What's that mean? You know what I'm saying? They're just into stuff that you aren't because it's hidden from you, So I kind of go back to what, like I said at the beginning, man, you know what I'm saying? The occult, which really means, that which is hidden, that which is hidden from some is openly shown to others. So
if you look at your path, you went from the darkness, and then it seems like Christianity taught you, love and brotherhood and sisterhood. And it was like when you were looking for something a little bit deeper and you wanted to know deeper truths, you kind of drifted away from that, even though you didn't relinquish those teachings or how you feel about Christianity. So it's definitely something that's hard in the society because they definitely want to label you.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I know in rap, that's pretty famous. There's all these different genres of rap. What would your genre of your music fit into?
I call it esoteric spiritual hip hop. That's what I call it.
Is that what you coined it?
That's what I call it, It's the best way I can describe it to you.
I haven't really heard the Lost Children of Babylon. Of course, I heard of them. They're kind of the same genre?
Yeah. Big influence from them in my work. Them and another group called Conspirituality, influenced by them. You know what I'm saying? Them guys a lot. So, yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm into music, but I'm not a big, rap fan just because of the music that's put out there. To me, it's just, it's just not intelligent enough. I actually used to like, NWA and Ice Cube, those were like some of my favorite bands when I grew up more punk rock in Orange County here in Southern California. Just kind of a different kind of street music. But,
that's what,
I was always a fan
that's what I came upon as well.
Gotcha. The punk rock scene a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've been into everything, man. I listen for anything. I still listen to like death metal and stuff, and then I'll turn around and listen to some really soft Christian music. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to everything. I mean, I'm inspired by everything. And some people would say that's a taboo, man. But understanding like the duality, all that's in me, all that's a part of me. Like there is the light, there is the darkness, there is the dark times we go through. There is the negative emotions we have to deal with and put them in their right place. And in a sense, sometimes music helps, tell your story or take you to another place when you're in the midst of that. So,
yeah, would you relate your feelings to the music you're listening to often? So when you say, hey, sometimes I listen to, a soft Christian music, or sometimes it's a hard death metal or whatever, would that relate to the mood that you're in?
It can. I mean, I just like music in general. I like so many different styles of good music. I mean, I listen to country, anything. I just love music. And it can relate to your mood, to your mood, but it can also put you in the mood. You can listen to angry music and, make you angry or help you come to grips with those feelings that you've been suppressing or hiding. So that's why I love meditation. Whenever you meditate, you have to, when you sit down and be quiet, you have to deal with what you've been suppressing. So it's all a part of that, whether it comes out through music or just even sitting in silence, which all is needed, I believe.
Definitely. Are you doing any meditations right now yourself?
It's been a while, and I think one reason that's why a lot of the inspiration isn't coming, because I haven't had a lot of time to really sit in silence, and because I've been working so much. Like, obviously, I'm sure that point's come across that I'm a workaholic, and I help other people, and I'm working with people on their projects, mixing and mastering and getting stuff together for other people, which I'm getting paid on the side to do that, and a lot of it is to, help support my family or whatnot. but like I'm true to it. I'm really true to it. I don't play with it at all. I do not play with the spirit realm. I do not play with my music. And I found there's people who do similar types of styles that I do, and they're not. There's people who do gospel music, and they're some of the most wicked, evil people you'll ever meet. There's people who do spiritual hip-hop, and they claim to be gurus, and these people are just as negative and worldly as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of approach it with a sense of integrity, especially with where I came from, and I try to be true to it. So I'm not going to rap about meditation and rap about spiritual encounters and spiritual experiences if I'm not having them. And you know what I'm saying, right now I've been really busy, and I'm going to be true to it. So when you hear me talk about these different things in the music, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's real. It was a big letdown when I was listening to some of these artists, and I called in the interviews. I was a fan of their music. Called in the interviews to talk to them and ask them about meditation, ask them about UFOs and spirits and stuff. And they're like, "Oh man, we just, they don't even do it or believe in it. It's just something they learned, like a religion or something." It's like, wow, like what I'm talking about, man. This is real. I've experienced all this stuff. I've experienced, the UFOs and the angels and the demons and all of it. So it's all true, and it's all from my heart, and I think that comes across when people listen to the music,
Yeah, no, and it comes across in your name, TruthSeekah. So that's, I think, something you want to live true to. You're definitely doing that. Who inspires you the most outside of music and outside of religion out there in this world, would you say? Is there anybody, say, in either the truth movement or the media or anybody out there? Or?
David Wilcock. I'm a big fan of David Wilcock. He's he does teachings, and he writes books and he does lectures and stuff. David Wilcock, and I guess it kind of gets back to religion in a sense, but Manly P. Hall, really inspired by his work like crazy. Feel like he's almost like a father figure in a sense, someone who understands you when you read his work and stuff and listen to his lectures. And
I definitely highly recommend as well. My wife feels the same way. When you read his words, it just seems like he's talking to you or your soul, and he has a great way with his words.
And a lot of times, because I actually dedicated my album to his work. My last 2 albums are dedicated to his work, and people, like a lot of the Christian people, they'll see that I'm pushing some of his quotes and stuff, and his quotes ring so true, man. They're just like so true, and I'll post them and like, well, that guy is this, and stuff that they heard about him, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, won't you pay attention to the message, man, and see if it holds any truth to it? Like, if somebody, like the the podcast that me and you did on my show, I posted it on my page, and somebody who's kind of close to me posted and was like coming against Gnosticism and coming against the Gnostic Gospels, and I was like, first of all, you need to judge something don't judge something before its appointed time. That's what Jesus said. You didn't even listen to the show because we never even talked about the Gnostic Gospels anywhere. Once you listen to the show, see what we're talking about, and then, make the comments and questions so we can defend it. Like, So, and that's the thing I get a lot, like dealing with the Christians and stuff, is like a lot of the blanket statements or something. They'll see the title of the show, and I'll post an interesting title to get people's attention and stuff, and then they'll blow up and stuff, and it's just crazy. So,
actually, when I study some of the Bible and the old Bible verses, I actually see a lot of encoded Gnosticism and Gnosis in it, right in front of our faces. And if people, Christians, really studied the Bible and they lived by the words, they would understand that what we write about is similar. We're just, not directly always quoting out of the Bible. So,
that's because that's what you study. I read the Bhagavad Gita. I check out some of Buddhist teachings and stuff, and I see Christian teachings in them, because that's what I've studied in the past. People study Judaism, and they they study Judaism and they read the New Testament, which is it's totally different in a sense, but they see all the Judaism in the New Testament, or they see it in other religions. If you study Egyptology and you look at Christianity, then you see all the Egyptian symbols and the sayings and the gods and all this kind of stuff. And so whatever, that's why your your standpoint and your perception is so important, because whatever standpoint you hold, that's how you're going to see things. That's how you're going to view the world. And there's a lot of people who view it from a negative position. And when you listen to it, you're going to see all of the negative stuff. Like, I'm really hard on myself when I do my podcast because I'm not the greatest speaker. I stutter a lot. I'm not, as studied up as some people. I'm probably one of the last people who should be doing a podcast. But when people listen, they understand what I'm talking about. They understand the questions I ask some of the guests and some of the information that I'm trying to put out there. So that's the standpoint, that they listen to it from, and that's what they get out of it. You get whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for the negative in life, if you're looking to expose people and point the finger, there's plenty of room for that. You know what I'm saying? You can look at my life, and you can, there's plenty you can say against me or whatever. But you can look at the positive, and you can do the same thing for anything and anybody, and that's what I encourage.
No, I agree. It's not easy to do these podcasts, so I commend you. On top of doing your music, you are doing a podcast, so listeners, check that out at TruthSeekah, and he's every 2 weeks you're getting a podcast out. Is that what you're doing?
It's just as we schedule them, I try to have somebody on the show to interview, and we just kind of have a discussion. So I don't have anything booked right now, but we try to do it every Monday. And then I do just a little teaching podcast with me, just kind of going over some thoughts or whatever. So, yeah, if they just, subscribe to the channel, hopefully, once a week, once every 2 weeks, they'll see something new. On
your website, right now, they could buy your album, download it. Is that the best place to find your music? Yeah,
just go to TruthSeekahMusic.com, Truth, SEEKAH, music.com. And, click store, and I've got all my CDs there. If you want to buy the actual disc or the digital downloads are available as well. So, yeah, definitely support the music if you like it, if you believe in it. It's much appreciated.
That's great. And then you pretty much uploaded all your songs and your videos to YouTube as well?
Yeah, because that's the aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get one aspect just by listening to it, but when you see those visuals, man, it will really take you to another place. I really pride myself in, the videos that I've produced with them. And so yeah, that's going to take you another place. If you go to just the YouTube, type in my name, TruthSeekah, and you'll be able to see some of the videos. And just come on there, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you guys think.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. And actually, with this show, when I posted on Gnostic Warrior, if you go to GnosticWarrior.com, I'll put a couple of his videos below the show, so you could check them out. And I definitely highly recommend you go to his YouTube channel, because I've checked out, I think, every one of them. On there the other day. I was just for about 2 hours just checking everything out, and was just blown away. And I was like, I got to interview Derek. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man. I love doing both, man. I love interviewing people, and I love being interviewed. I don't get interviewed as much anymore, but I love both sides of the coin. So I just love having discussion or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's going to come, Derek. You're kind of in the truth crowd. You might not be well known, but I think you're going to start to, and hopefully with this podcast, more people will find you out there, because I think that's important. Whether you're into Gnosticism or whatever knowledge, that you also follow artists out there and support them that are into the same things, and especially if they're putting out music that is stuff that we read and study and research. The way you put it together, again, go to his YouTube channel, check it out. You'll definitely buy one of his shirts and his download his CD. It's definitely one of the best out there, and one of my favorite right now as far as rap and hip hop. What's next for Derek TruthSeekah?
So I'm gonna help The Voice finish his album, The Voice, THAVOYCE. I'm featured on a couple tracks on that, so I'm helping him get that together, mixing and mastering that. Once that's done, which is going to be done soon, hopefully the book will be done, and then I plan on, working on the next project.
Great. And anything you want to tell to your fans out there, because I know you haven't done a lot of interviews. There's going to be some of your fans checking this out.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to them out there for supporting you?
No, I just say, thanks for holding me down and sticking with me. I've been kind of shaky in the past, back and forth, dealing with all this stuff, and I just kind of, wear my heart on my sleeve and put it out there. And a lot of people respect that, because, my story is their story. There's a lot of people, man, you wouldn't believe this stuff. I get people from all walks of life who listen to my music, and a lot of the Christian people, still listen to my music. And they're still, it's not just my awakening, it's their awakening. So whether, my music is a soundtrack for their life as well. So, I get a lot of support. So thanks for everybody for sticking with me and holding me down. I don't have all of the answers, and I don't claim to. And I found out that with religion, you have to say that you have all the answers. You know the full interpretations and the breakdowns. That's just not the case. So I'm just a seeker. I have a piece of the puzzle, and if you're listening to the show, you do too. So let's come together, put our pieces together, and see if we can see a picture out of it.
Amen. That was a great way to put it, Derek. And for those of you, again, that have not seen his work or his website, that's TruthSeekah with AH on SeekahMusic.com. You can check out his stuff there. And then if you put that in Google, you'll find his YouTube channel and also the Facebook, which I highly recommend that you like and maybe even friend Derek. And he definitely puts out cool stuff all day long, either through his mobile or whatever. There's always something cool.
Yeah, like I said, you might see something from one of the Saints or Manly P. Hall or something like that, and then you'll see something from Slipknot or something, you know. For sure. Something that just rings true, you know.
Yeah, and it's great that we all could connect together. You know, I'm here in Southern California, you're there in Alabama, and I know you have people all over the world that are your fans and that are getting to know you, and it's cool to, you know, see you daily on Facebook, and, you know, I want to talk to you again in the future. I appreciate your time, Derek, and I know a lot of people out there are going to become fans of your work and are, you know, love to hear what you had to say today.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, man, and definitely going to have you back on the show soon, man. So let's do it.
All right, brother. Good luck to you and everything that you do and your family, and we'll talk to you later, bro.
You too, man. God bless.
Okay, God bless. Bye.
A year later, we started coming out, and people wandered around, and not knowing what I was going to do, trying to find a place to survive. One day, I heard a voice. It's hard to explain, but it was like it was coming from inside of me. But I could hear it as clear as I could hear you talking to me now.
What did this voice say?
It told me that a path would be laid out for me, told me that I'd be protected against anyone or anything that stood in my path. I've been walking ever since.
And you did all that because a voice in your head told you to?
Yes, I did. I know what I heard. I know what I hear. I know I'm not crazy. And I know I would have never made it without help.
Transcend the physical, spiritual, individual. Faith followed by works, so we healing them with the syllables. Third eye visual, teaching mystical principles. Knowledge up from the rooted and given unto the simple. Overactive imagination, they medicated and then sedated. Expect the worst and exaggerated. I'm frustrated, where we're headed is not where we've been. Kali Yuga, we're at the hands of the fallen men. Righteous teachers were given wisdom like Solomon. I grab my pen and write blessings that will bind up the jinn. God's breath and I feel it like I'm feeling the wind. I've come too far to look back and start over again. Stimulate your mind, you seek and you will find the kingdom that's inside. Wake up and realize you need nothing that's outside. The blind leading the blind. Pharisees and false scribes, religion will only bind. When truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and time. Jacob's ladder, I will climb deep into the mystic mind. When truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and time. Jacob's ladder, I will climb deep into the mystic mind. Got me contemplating what to do in this situation. I close my eyes and realize within my meditation, conversation with God. Sitting up in higher places, great sensation. I'm changing paces, illumination. So face it, can we look within and find the light inside? If we believe we're created in the image of God, my soul will never rest. It was my second best. I was never made to harbor and carry the stress. Burning stage, clip the wave for the theta waves. In a blurry haze, making money and getting paid. In a mental maze, wake the sleepers up from the graves. Cause it's time for change, let's regress to the ancient ways. Most high praise, the one who is and the one who was, that all divine being. Who sends us light and that sends us love. Thoughts will enter your psyche, embedded deep into the mind. Writing pages of revelation, just like the prophet John. When truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and time. Jacob's ladder, I will climb deep into the mystic mind. When truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and plotting and trigger deceiving and mocking my mission, wishing my inner vision diminished, but I've been commissioned. Vicious and conversating, waiting, remaining patient while I'm facing, embracing situations back to the basics. So face it, let's remember who we are, not who we were. Even though the past is so distant, all you see is a blur. Never know what the future holds, never know what the future brings. In a pocket, listening, unveiling of all the former things. Salvation within our grasp, a new song I will sing. If you gain the world, in the end, it won't mean a thing. Death to the kingdom established, it's time to end your reign. Fire will burn, purge the world, and only truth remains. The truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and time. Jacob's ladder, I will climb deep into the mystic mind. The truth is the mystic mind, one begins to prophesy. Dreams and visions dwell inside, resonate and start to shine. To a place where I reside, ancient ways to space and time. Jacob's ladder, I will climb deep into the mystic mind.
You cannot be afraid of any question or any concept. You don't say, oh, when you say God, I don't like that. I'm not comfortable with God. No, you're comfortable with everything because everything comes from the same place. You don't say, oh, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that, oh, I like this. No, because it shows that there is a strong conditioning still operating effectively. But something is able to flex and to see that in the manifest world, in the manifold world, it is just appearances in consciousness, and I can locate my consciousness in affinity with every point of view. I can see it's okay. It's okay.